Welcome to the Haunted Quill.
Lila awakens to the soft caress of golden sunlight filtering through the dense canopy of a prehistoric jungle. The rays pierce through the mist, creating an ethereal glow that makes the air shimmer. She blinks, her senses heightened, taking in the vibrant greens of the ferns around her and the towering trees that seem to touch the heavens. The ground beneath her feels soft and alive, covered in a velvety layer of moss, punctuated by tiny mushrooms that glow faintly, as though lit from within. The sounds of the jungle reach her ears, a symphony of life. In the distance, water cascades in a steady, rhythmic hum, likely from a waterfall, while the chirps of unseen birds and the rustling of leaves create an orchestra of tranquility. A low, deep vibration seems to underlie it all, a reminder of the massive creatures that call this world home. Lila rises cautiously, her fingers brushing against the broad leaves of nearby plants. Her gaze shifts to the path ahead, where sunlight reveals enormous footprints embedded in the damp soil. Each footprint is easily the size of a bathtub, its edges sharp and definitive. The sight both intimidates and fascinates her as she realizes she is in a world dominated by creatures far larger than anything she has ever known. Following the trail, she notices that the foliage thickens and the air grows warmer and denser. As she moves, the rhythmic thuds of something enormous approach. They echo through the jungle like distant thunder, each step reverberating through her chest. Despite the primal fear bubbling within her, she is driven by curiosity. The path opens into a vast clearing, bathed in golden light, where the jungle canopy parts to reveal a sky painted with streaks of pink and orange. There, towering above the treetops, stands a brachiosaurus. Its long neck arches gracefully as it plucks leaves from the highest branches, its movements slow and deliberate, almost meditative. Lila's breath catches as she takes in the creature's massive yet serene form. Its leathery skin glistens under the sunlight, patterned with ridges and splotches that resemble ancient maps. The dinosaur seems utterly at peace, its sheer size making her feel like an ant standing before a gentle giant. The brachiosaurus turns its head, and its deep amber eyes meet hers. In that moment, Lila feels an inexplicable connection, as though the creature recognizes her not as a threat, but as something extraordinary, a visitor to its world. The dinosaur emits a low, resonant rumble, a sound so deep it feels like the earth itself is speaking to her. Without hesitation, the brachiosaurus begins to move, its massive legs carrying it with surprising grace. Lila follows, her trust in the creature overriding her fear. She feels as though it's leading her somewhere important, to a place she is meant to see. The journey takes her to a hidden meadow, shielded by a ring of towering cliffs and dense foliage. Here, the air is even richer with life, and the meadow teems with activity. A family of triceratops grazes among vibrant flowers, their horns catching the light like polished ivory. Among the triceratops are young ones, their small, stubby horns just beginning to grow. They playfully nudge each other, their squeals echoing through the meadow. The sight is so pure and harmonious that Lila feels a warmth spreading through her chest, a deep appreciation for this untouched world. As Lila watches, she notices other creatures in the distance. Small, bird-like dinosaurs dart between bushes, their feathers glinting in the sunlight. Their chirps add a higher pitch to the jungle's symphony, blending perfectly with the larger creature's presence. Suddenly, a shadow passes overhead. Lila looks up to see a pteranodon soaring through the sky, its wings stretched wide as it glides effortlessly. Its call pierces the air, sharp and melodic, and it dives gracefully toward the cliffs, vanishing into a cavern hidden by vines. As the evening approaches, the meadow begins to change. The sunlight softens, and the sky deepens into shades of orange and crimson. The tranquil harmony of the meadow is interrupted by a faint tremor beneath her feet, a tremor that grows steadily stronger. Lila's eyes widen as a deep, guttural roar reverberates through the jungle. It is unlike anything she has heard before. Primal and commanding, a sound that shakes the very fabric of her being. She instinctively climbs a nearby boulder to get a better view. From her vantage point, she sees the dense foliage parting as a Tyrannosaurus rex steps into the clearing. Its immense size and muscular frame make it a living embodiment of power. The T-Rex surveys the meadow with sharp, calculating eyes, and even the Triceratops seem to sense its authority. Despite the creature's fearsome reputation, Lila feels a strange calmness. The T-Rex is not attacking, it is observing, its presence a reminder of the delicate balance of this prehistoric ecosystem. The T-Rex lets out another roar, its breath visible in the cooling air. The sound echoes across the cliffs, blending with the jungle's evening chorus, creating an otherworldly melody that sends shivers down Lila's spine. As the sun begins to dip below the horizon, the jungle takes on an entirely new character. Bioluminescent plants begin to glow softly, their light painting the surroundings in shades of blue and green. The meadow transforms into a magical scene where the past and present seem to merge. Lila follows the glow of the plants, which seem to guide her to a hidden stream. The water sparkles under the bioluminescent light, and tiny dinosaurs with shimmering scales gather at its edge to drink. Kneeling by the stream, Lila cups the cool water in her hands and drinks. Its taste is pure and invigorating, a reminder that this world, though ancient, is alive and vibrant in every way. As night fully falls, the stars emerge, blanketing the sky in a dazzling display. The constellations seem brighter here, untouched by modern pollution, and Lila feels a profound sense of connection to the universe. The jungle's nocturnal creatures begin to stir. The chirping of crickets mingles with the distant calls of dinosaurs, creating a lullaby of natural sounds that makes her eyelids grow heavy. Returning to the original glade, Lila finds the Brachiosaurus waiting for her. It lowers its massive head, as if bidding her farewell, and she places her hand gently against its warm, textured skin. The size feels large. Feeling safe and at peace, Lila lies down on the mossy ground. The Brachiosaurus watches over her as the soothing sounds of the jungle lull her into a deep sleep. When she wakes, the jungle is gone, replaced by the familiar comfort of her bedroom. Yet the sensations of her journey linger. The warmth of the sunlight, the rumble of the Brachiosaurus, and the melody of a world untouched by time. Lila lies in bed, the vivid sensations of her journey still coursing through her. She closes her eyes, and though she's back in her own world, the rhythmic thudding of the Brachiosaurus's steps still echoes faintly in her mind, as though its presence hasn't completely faded. The golden light she saw in the jungle seemed to linger, casting her room in a soft, otherworldly glow. Her gaze drifts to the open window, where the first light of dawn spills into her room, eerily similar to the way the sunlight filtered through the prehistoric canopy away. As she stretches, her fingers brush against the open book on her lap. It's the dinosaur encyclopedia she had been reading before she drifted off. The pages, still open, reveal a detailed illustration of a Brachiosaurus, its gentle eyes mirroring those of the creature she had met. Sitting up, Lila notices something odd. A faint, earthy scent clings to her pajamas, the unmistakable fragrance of moss, damp earth, and the sweet perfume of ancient jungle blooms. She smiles softly, unsure if it's a remnant of her dream or something more tangible. As she opens her eyes, she realizes the woman standing with her entire group. A glimmer of light catches her eye, and she looks down to find her hands faintly dusted with a golden, shimmering powder. The same bioluminescent glow she had seen on the plants in the jungle. Her heart skips a beat, her thoughts racing, as she wonders if her journey was more than just a dream. As the morning sun rises higher, Lila steps outside into the crisp morning air. The world around her feels different now, as though she can sense the pulse of life in every tree, every blade of grass, every chirping bird. The rustling of leaves in the nearby woods catches her attention, reminding her of the gentle movements of the dinosaurs she had encountered. She half expects to see the triceratops emerge from the trees, but the woods remain quiet, their secrets hidden. Leela's thoughts drift back to the carvings she had seen on the ancient stone structure. The images of humans and dinosaurs coexisting in harmony feel more meaningful now, as though they were a message meant specifically for her. However, determined to understand more, Lila begins sketching the carvings from memory. The intricate details flow onto the page with surprising ease, as if her hand remembers what her eyes had barely glimpsed. As she draws, she recalls the sensation of the stone beneath her fingertips, a pulse of energy that seemed to connect her to the island's history. The memory fills her with a sense of purpose, as though she's been entrusted with preserving its story. Lila decides to revisit the book she had been reading, searching for clues about the prehistoric world she experienced. Every page feels familiar, the illustrations and descriptions sparking memories of her time in the jungle. One particular page catches her attention, a description of the Brachiosaurus, its gentle nature, and its role in maintaining balance within its ecosystem. The words resonate deeply, reminding her of the harmonious relationships she witnessed between the dinosaurs. Another section details the Tyrannosaurus rex, describing its immense power and dominance as the apex predator of its time. But unlike the fearsome descriptions in the book, Lila's memory of the T-Rex is different. Majestic, commanding, but not malicious. The next morning, Lila wakes with a renewed sense of purpose. She begins journaling every detail she remembers from her journey, capturing the sights, sounds, and emotions of the prehistoric world with vivid clarity. Her journal entries become more than a retelling of her experience. They transform into a tapestry of stories that blend fact with fantasy, as though she's unraveling a forgotten history. She sketches the baby triceratops playing in the meadow, their small, stubby horns glinting in the sunlight. She writes about their innocence and the unbreakable bond of their family, a reflection of the unity she felt in the meadow. She recreates the pterodon's flight, its soaring grace etched into her memory. The way it cut through the sky, its cry echoing like a haunting melody, becomes a metaphor for freedom and resilience. Emotions run sophisticated when appropriate, but sometimes systems in the human mind can create a distorted reality. Each night, as she writes, she feels the jungle come alive again. The bioluminescent plants, the cascading waterfalls, and the harmonious symphony of dinosaur calls all resurface in her mind, as vivid as the moment she experienced them. She begins to dream of the jungle more frequently, each dream feeling like a continuation of her journey. In these dreams, the Brachiosaurus is always there, its gentle rumble guiding her to new places within the prehistoric world. One night, she dreams of the ancient stone structure again. This time, she discovers a new carving, a depiction of a doorway surrounded by glowing symbols, as though it holds the key to returning to the jungle. The symbols from her dream linger in her mind, compelling her to sketch them the moment she wakes. She feels a deep pull to uncover their meaning, as though they hold the secret to reconnecting with the world she left behind. Days turn into weeks, and Lila immerses herself in studying prehistoric life, finding connections between the ancient world she experienced and the fragments of its story that remain in fossils and lore. Her fascination grows into a passion, inspiring her to share her experiences through art and writing. She creates vivid paintings of the jungle, the dinosaurs, and the mystical glow of the bioluminescent plants, each piece capturing the magic of her journey away among its population. She is now a member of the disability community and is thriving in her present work, sensing the authenticity and wonder in her stories and artwork. Lila's creations become a way to preserve the beauty of a world long forgotten, keeping its spirit alive. in the present. Though Leela never discovers exactly how she entered the prehistoric world, she feels its presence in her everyday life, a reminder that the past, present, and future are interconnected, and that magic often resides just beyond the edges of what we know. Days turn into weeks, and Lila immerses herself in studying prehistoric life, finding connections between the ancient world she experienced and the fragments of its story that remain in fossils and lore. Her fascination grows into a passion, inspiring her to share her experiences through art and writing. She creates vivid paintings of the jungle, the dinosaurs, and the mystical glow of the bioluminescent plants, each piece capturing the magic of her journey. People are drawn to her work, sensing the authenticity and wonder in her stories and artwork. Lila's creations become a way to preserve the beauty of a world long forgotten, keeping its spirit alive in the present. Though Leela never discovers exactly how she entered the prehistoric world, she feels its presence in her everyday life, a reminder that the past, present, and future are interconnected, and that magic often resides just beyond the edges of what we know. Except for you.